Now. Hello and welcome to the Mastermind Grove, where we share the wisdom and stories and insight from business owners. My name is John Cashier-Rice and I have the pleasure to be your host for this podcast. I am the local Federation of Small Business Membership Advisor and meeting and supporting business owners from all industries. Today we have Jen. Welcome, Jen. Thanks for joining us.
Hi, John. Thanks ever so much for having me today.
Oh, real pleasure. Real pleasure. So tell us a bit about your business and how you got started in it.
Of course, it's a pleasure. Thank you. So my name is Jen Bekker. I'm based here in the beautiful New Forest. Very lucky to have this on our doorstep. And I run my own travel company. So it's premium travel based on a very personal service for the discerning traveller. My history, I dropped out of university, age 19, hadn't quite found my calling in life, didn't know what I wanted to do. I had great plans to just go off travelling, hit the road, and I took a job in a local forest hotel. Initially, my plans were maybe just to work there for a year, earn some money, go off backpacking around Australia, New Zealand. And as it was, I loved working in the hotels. So I started off as a receptionist, quickly progressed to duty manager, which meant that I was responsible for the health, the safety, the well-being of all the staff, all the guests who were on site at the time. And I actually met my future husband there. So I didn't go off backpacking around Australia and New Zealand as planned. And my husband, Chris, was planning on joining the British Army. He was South African and was over here to join as a Commonwealth soldier. So the travel plans quickly went out the window. We got married. He was then based up in Wiltshire, so we moved up there. And I continued working with hotels, but took more of a back office role, so reservations, revenue management, which I thoroughly enjoyed. And ended up working for Longleat Hotels. So for Lord Bath, sadly late Lord Bath, they owned 3 hotels. So I was based at the estate office on Longleat estate, which was fabulous. And I have to say the best time of year was when it was closed to the public. Oh. And we used to go and sit and eat our packed lunches, amongst the penguins. We'd take a walk through the meerkat enclosure. Nobody else around. It was just wonderful. And very sadly, my husband died back in 2014 due to an accident at work in the army. At which time we had not long moved to Buckinghamshire. I was actually working for Hilton hotels at the time. I was a cluster revenue manager, so I was responsible for 7 properties across Europe, the Middle East and Africa. And my family were all based down here in the New Forest. And after Chris passed away, our daughter was 3, just turned 3 at the time. So I felt a very long way away from family and friends. Great job at Hilton as an employer, amazing, absolutely incredible, the support that they offered me during that very difficult time. But I stayed up there for around another 6 months and really I needed to be home. I needed my parents. I needed my old friends, people who'd known me my whole life. I needed that support system. So I left Hilton. I had an open door to go back whenever I wanted. So moved back down here. I actually took 4 years off work just to be mum to my daughter. And that was actually the best decision I made at the time for both of us. We needed each other.
Yes.
We needed just to have time together and to create memories and have fun. But there comes a time where one has to go back to work. I think I could have got quite used to just being mum otherwise. And I still felt that I had a lot to achieve, that I hadn't yet had the opportunity to do so. I didn't want to go back to being employed. I wanted to be able to do the school run if it was sports day or, I don't know, a celebration assembly. I wanted to be there without having to, shift swap or take annual leave. I've been very fortunate that my parents had helped me out a lot with childcare and continue to do so, bless them, to this day. So really for me, I wanted to work for myself. I wanted to be my own boss. I have no trouble working hard, but I equally wanted to take those afternoons off or the weekends with my daughter. So I looked back at my work history. I particularly enjoy the travel and hospitality industry, but as I say, I wanted to work for myself. So I started researching and I came across travel counsellors. So I looked at several home working travel companies, and for me, travel counsellors ticked all the boxes. I run my business as I wish to. I have to find all my clients. I look after them. It's my business model. I find them the most amazing holidays, which then go onto my bucket list as well, invariably. But travel counsellors, they provide me and my clients with all the support. They do all the commercial contracting. They've got a 24/7 duty office. So I felt that was the best fit for me. That would enable me to give my clients the best service possible as well. And that was 2.5 years ago. I haven't looked back. It's been an incredible journey. I travel a lot. So I may not have backpacked Australia and New Zealand when I was 19, but I'm making up for it now. And I take my daughter on some fabulous holidays. We've made so many amazing memories together. One of her favorite, if I ask her, what is your best holiday you've ever been on? She'll tell you about the summer that we spent traveling around Thailand together, just the two of us. And we visited 4 or 5 different places, including Elephant Hills, which is a highly rated, eco-friendly elephant sanctuary. So there's no chains. They are elephants who used to work in the logging industry, that when that was outlawed, they're incredibly expensive to upkeep, as you can imagine, with all the food and the land that they need. So they created this eco-tourism centre, and the guests, you have to stay overnight. They don't take day guests. I think it's a minimum of 2 nights. And you stay, it's a bit like glamping in the rainforest. And you have an hour or so interaction with the elephants. So they're not overworked. You just feed them, you wash them. And then the rest of the time is spent kayaking on rivers, paddleboarding on the most beautiful lakes, taking nature walks through the rainforest. And the elephant that we washed, an Indian elephant called Mercy. And I have the most beautiful photo of my daughter, who must have been 7 at the time, just with her hand on Mercy's trunk, stood right in front of her. They're looking into each other's eyes. And it was phenomenal. They're such intelligent creatures. There really was a connection on an emotional level between them. And, I've taken my daughter to some amazing places, but that is the one memory that stands out above all others. So to be able to give her that opportunity as well, for me as a parent, is incredible.
Fabulous. Wow. There's a lot there. So it's pretty much like you've designed the perfect working lifestyle.
Yes, it's taken work to get there. I think one of the biggest things I've had to learn these last 2.5 years is time management, particularly when it is our own business. There's so much passion involved, and you give it your all. I respond to emails at 11 o'clock at night when they come in, because they come in on my personal phone, and I'm pretty sure my clients don't expect me to be replying to them at 11 o'clock at night, but I do it. And when it is our own business, it's a part of you. The blood, the sweat, the tears that goes into building it up. It's actually quite easy for it to take over your life. Yeah. So I have had to be very strict with myself, and I'm very fortunate. The way that I've built my business, it's based on quality, not quantity. So I don't have a huge client list. I have clients that travel several times a year that I build a very close relationship with, that become friends, over time. And they don't expect me to reply at 11 o'clock at night. But equally, if they were to send me an urgent message or to call me at 11 o'clock at night, I would know it was urgent and I would take it. Of course I would. But I have had to to try and put some boundaries in place, and those are boundaries for me that I found myself in the beginning. I'd be sat doing something with my daughter, and my phone would go, and it was an email, and I'd drop everything to reply to that email, which really went against everything I was trying to build. That elusive work-life balance that I think a lot of us strive for. But it has got better with time. I don't necessarily reply at 11 o'clock at night anymore, or if I'm doing something with my daughter. If an email pings through and it's not urgent, I will finish what I'm doing with her before I reply.
Yes, and I think that's a valuable lesson, that if you run a business or a director, that you have to have those self boundaries, because it's so easy to carry on work in this day and age and miss out on the quality of other aspects of your life.
Oh, it really is. And the kids, particularly when they're that age, they want us there. They want to play with us. And, I didn't want to get to a stage that I'd worked so hard, built this incredible business, but actually when I then had time to spend with my daughter, she would rather be off with her friends than spending it with me. So I have made a conscious decision, not to let the business get out of control. It's my baby, and the relationship I have with my clients is a very personal one, and I want to keep it that way whilst managing time with my daughter as well.
Yes, that sounds excellent. Sounds like you're starting to establish that balance in life and work.
I hope so.
So if somebody was interested in maybe talking to you about travel and going on a unique adventure, how would they contact you?
Of course. So I absolutely love to meet my clients face to face. So the best thing to do is to give me a call. The business number is 02380 070 010, or drop me an email, Jen .Bekker, which is BEKKER, good Afrikaans surname, at Travel Counsellors. So TRAVEL, and then Counsellors, COUNSELLORS.com. Jen.Bekker at travelcounsellors.com. And the majority of my clients are local to the New Forest. So in normal times, I would have met them for a coffee or a glass of wine, and really, chat through, get to know them, get to know their preferences. I have some clients who are based further afield and some who are expats overseas. And that's obviously not possible, unfortunately, to meet them in person. But, with technology these days, we can do a Zoom call or a WhatsApp video call. But it's definitely a relationship business. I don't like to liaise with someone just via email or social media. I want to really get to know them, and really the only way that I can put together the perfect holiday for them is by getting to know them. Otherwise it just becomes another generic, ticking the boxes. Oh, this hotel, yeah, great location, super, but it might not be the right fit for them.
Now, I'm sure there's lots of people eager for an adventure as they've been stuck in for a little while.
Gosh, I am indeed one of those people, John. As I mentioned, my husband was South African, so I take my daughter over there at least once a year to see the family, and we go off exploring. And we should have been flying out this Saturday to South Africa and heading off to Mozambique on Monday, which is one of our favourite places. It's completely off the beaten track, the most beautiful beaches. But as things are, our next trip to look forward to is Centre Parks. So slightly different, but I'm sure we'll still have a wonderful time.
Absolutely. Thank you, Jen. And I'll put your contact details on the website as well.
Yes, lovely, thanks. I'm sorry, my surname is not the usual spelling, so much easier for somebody to be able to look it up.
Yes, excellent. Thank you. So thank you for sharing your personal story with us as well, and your insights into some time management tips especially for business owners. So any questions, if you know anybody who runs a business who would like to be part of the podcast, please do send them my way, and I look forward to talking to you soon. Take care. Bye. The Federation of Small Businesses, with practical help for business owners, such as free business banking, no charges for everyday banking services such as paying in checks and cash. It also includes a free change facility, so you can always have enough coins and notes when you need it most. Any questions? Contact me at john.cassidy-rice@fsb.org.uk.